it's a miserable day today, so I thought it would be the perfect time to do a reading vlog. I haven't done one in a really long time because I was so busy at uni. I wasn't reading at all, so I'm super behind on my reading goal for this year, probably over 10 books behind. So today I thought I would attempt a 24-hour reading challenge, but instead of staying up for 24 hours to read, because I genuinely think that will make me sick. I am a grandma and I like to go to bed at like 10:30, 11. So instead, what I'm gonna do is have a little stopwatch on my phone. Every time that I read over the next few days, I will start the stopwatch, and when it gets to 24 hours, that's when I'll see how much I've read. And to start off this little challenge, I am going to try and finish this book. It's called Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angeline Boulley. I read Firekeeper's Daughter like 2-3 years ago and I loved it. It was such a good book. This is her second book. These books are about a Native American tribe and all of the tension and conflict that comes between them and all of the white people in America. The first book was a mystery about drugs. I can't remember it exactly because it was a while ago, but this one is about trying to recover the possessions and remains of Native American people that are in museums. These things that are in the museums were stolen from them years ago and they're trying to get them back. I'm about 120 pages in. It's okay so far. It's interesting, like I'm learning a lot, but it doesn't hit the same as the first one so far. But I still want to give it a chance to kind of pick up the pace a bit. Let me get my little stopwatch up. Okay, let's get reading. I've literally only been reading for like 2.5 hours in total and I've managed to read just over 100 pages. I am so slow at reading. Like, I thought I was slow before, but I was discussing this with my friend the other day and she can read 70 pages in an hour and I can only read 40. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it takes me like longer to process the words that are on the page. Maybe social media is rotting my brain, but also I don't think it helps that this book isn't very exciting. I feel really bad because the first book I loved and I was hooked the whole way through, but this one has just been really disappointing so far. The pace has only just picked up and I'm on page 230. Like I said before, this book is about getting back the Native American possessions that have been stolen from them, which I think is a really good topic to talk about. No one really talks about it, but I think it could have been executed a little bit better. And I just think it's missing something that the first book had. I did see in the back of the book, the author said that Firekeeper's Daughter took her 10 years to write and this one only took a year. And I can kind of see that, like, not in a good way. The other one was so detailed and the mystery had so many twists and turns. It was so clever. And this one does just feel like one of those books that an author has had to write so quickly because the publishers are like, we need something now, so that they can ride off the popularity of the other book. I'm just gonna stop wasting time and read the book. And I've just finished this book. It did pick up. I feel like everything that I wanted to happen happened within the last 80 pages and all of the super exciting parts happened way too quickly. Everything was kind of resolved so fast that it just felt really underwhelming. Unfortunately, I am still disappointed by this book. I'm gonna rate it a 3 out of 5. I'm pretty sure I rated Firekeeper's Daughter 5 out of 5. I did really enjoy learning about native history and also a lot of the laws that are surrounding the anthropological side of studying native objects and bones. It is infuriating, especially when they hold beliefs around death and like believe that your skeleton holds a lot of power and it should be returned to the earth. There's like a whole bibliography at the back, so it's all been very well researched. See, in principle it has all of these amazing elements, but the story itself, it just dragged and then peaked. Anyways, I am going to move on to another book. I have quite a few books that I have started and haven't finished. However, I'm not in the mood to read them right now. The first book that I kind of really want to read is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is so popular. It's a mystery, so I think it could really get me interested. The next one, Big Swiss. Again, super popular. It's supposed to be kind of funny. I've been meaning to read this for ages as well. Then these next two books I bought recently. I shouldn't have, because clearly I've got too many books that are unread. The first one is called Brutes. I've seen this on TikTok and people say that if you like Ethel Cain, then you will like this book because it's kind of got the same vibes as her. And I love Ethel Cain so much. I also think the front cover is gorgeous, and I think it's just about like girlhood and hot summers. So maybe I want to read this on a hot summer's day actually. Yeah, I don't think today is the right atmosphere for that, but I'm very excited for it. And then the next one I got is Yellowface. I've been waiting for this in paperback because I hate hardbacks, and it was in the supermarket a couple of weeks ago for £5. But again, I don't think I feel like reading this just yet. I'm going to try and read these two within the time that I have left. And I think I'm going to start with The Housemaid. I just want some type of mystery to actually grip me. Is that so much to ask, honestly? Good morning. It's 7:30. I have to leave here at 10 to go and see my friend, and then I am going to spend some time in town today, finding some cute places to read my book because it's still disgusting outside, but it's fine because this book is amazing. This book is really good so far. Already on page 100, and I was only reading for like an hour and a half, I want to say. So with this book, in an hour I read 66 pages. Maybe I am quicker than I think. This font is definitely bigger than the font in the other book, and I also think it helps that it's easy to read. If you haven't heard of this book before, it's about a woman who goes to a family, a super rich family, and she becomes their housemaid, and weird things kind of start happening with the woman who employs her. She's really erratic and will kind of make mess so that she has to clean it up, and she'll tell her to go pick up her child when she doesn't actually need to, just creating so much stuff for her to do and making her feel like shit when doesn't do it perfectly, or she just gaslights her into thinking that she was never asked to do it in the first place. It's also really creepy because the room to her bedroom, because she lives in the house with them, only locks from the outside, which is like really weird. I'm excited to see where it goes. So I'm going to read my book for a couple of hours and then I'm going to get ready to go to town. it's a few days later and I am only at 16 hours. I've been so busy. Every time I've sat down to read, I've only been able to do like an hour or two. So this is taking me much longer than I thought, but I did finish The Housemaid and I have started Big Swiss. So I thought I would just give you a little rundown of what I thought about this. I've rated it like a 3 out of 5. It's not the best crime thriller book that I've ever read. It definitely was quite tropey. I don't know if that's the right word. It was quite predictable. Like I kind of knew what was going to happen, but that didn't negate from like how much I enjoyed it. And I think that's quite rare for a crime book. Like if you can predict the end, usually it just ruins it. But it was super fast paced. I definitely like felt a lot of feelings reading it. I was mostly just like irritated and angry at every character, to be honest. There is like a big twist about halfway through the book, which I thought was really good. However, I don't think I'm going to pick up the other books that she's written. I think there were definitely some plot holes. I'm not going to read too much into that. I don't actually care. I just know I had a pretty good time reading this book. I moved on to Big Swiss and I'm like 100 pages into this and I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of funny. It's dark humor, which I love, and it's also going by pretty quickly because this is about a transcriber for a therapist. So she's typing up all of his conversations that he has with clients, and so a lot of this book is speech, which goes by pretty quickly, but I find very interesting and entertaining. I do like descriptive writing, but for me, I like to see people do things and hear about their stories. I'm definitely like a plot driven, character driven girl. I've been introduced to Big Swiss, which is one of this therapist's clients, and Greta has been transcribing some of their conversations, is getting to know Big Swiss without actually knowing them. Greta herself definitely has some issues to work through, but I really like that in a main character. They are flawed. I think the rest of this book's gonna be really good, and so far it's living up to the hype. I actually have a banana bread baking in the oven right now. Yay, I can't wait to eat it. And then I'm going climbing tonight, so this is what I mean by like I can't just read for 24 hours. I have a lot of hobbies and I like to do them all, but now it's time to read. Big Swiss, and I'm actually in London right now with my sister, so I don't have the book with me, but I loved it and I've rated it. I think I rated it like a 4.5 out of 5. I'm so bad at rating books. People are always like, is 3 good or bad? Honestly, it's kind of both. It's kind of really good. It's also like meh, but 4.5, very good. I enjoyed Big Swiss the whole way through. Compared to The Housemaid, the writing style was just so much more interesting. I really think the author thought about not just the story, but the way that she wrote it. I also really enjoyed the dark humor. I don't know if that's a good thing to enjoy, making light of like really traumatic situations, to be honest. Like, I would definitely check out the trigger warnings before you do, because it is pretty intense at parts. Then the two main characters kind of make light of the situation a little bit, because I guess that's just how they cope, but I thought it was very real. I think both Greta and Big Swiss were very complex characters and they worked really well together and also against each other. I also thought Ohm, the therapist, was a really good kind of comedic relief, because obviously therapy sessions aren't always fun. He was just stupid. He was stupid and silly. I also think it ended in exactly the right way. It didn't like completely slow down. It actually picked up quite a bit at the end and then finished in a very healthy way. I think overall it really did live up to the hype, because it was hyped up on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well. So my expectations have been built up and I would like to say that they were met. I would absolutely recommend Big Swiss and The Housemaid. I 100% recommend Firekeeper's Daughter. And then if you do decide to read the second book, I'd really like to know your thoughts on that and whether you felt the same that I did. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog and I will see you in my next video. Bye.